Hello fashion lovers, welcome back to my channel. Today it is this gown from Shein. Okay, this dress, it is sewn in Shein. Yeah, Shein sells it. That will be cutting in this video. If it is what you are interested in, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and please, I will appreciate if you can drop a comment on the comment section. Okay, and please, if you can, be a member. All right, show support the channel by becoming a member, so we'll be able to be dropping more videos. So this is my calculation. All right, just our normal calculation. Now there's something I need to explain. This particular gown, I'm more like doing it again. I've done something like this on this channel, but they're a little bit different. But because someone dropped a comment on the comment section and said the pleat, I did not explain the pleat part of it very well, so I decided to go ahead with this particular dress. Okay, now this dress, you can see it has a pleat in the front. Okay, and this particular style has been trending. All right, so this is my body measurement. I've marked it using the calculation. Now, I did not go detail into how I marked it. You already know this is our basics. Now, my concentration in this video is more like the pleat part of it. That is why I had to skip some part of it, okay? So, once you have your bodies like this, the next thing you do is your nipple to nipple. This particular dress went all through to the shoulder. Same with the other video I dropped the other time that the comment was dropped under, went through the shoulder. Okay, so the same measurement, I'm going for nipple to nipple divided by 2 plus half inches, and I'm marking 4.5 all through down to the end of the gown length. To the end of the gown length, that is what I'm marking. Now this pattern, I did not add sewing allowance to it. I will be adding the sewing allowance when cutting it on the fabric. All right, when cutting it on the fabric is well. Now, having marked my nipple to nipple all down to the end of the fabric, the next thing I will be doing is on my waist, I will be marking half inches for my darts. Okay, for my dart, I will be marking the half inches. Now, before continuing, our dart extends, starts from the bust point down to the waist to the hip. So I need to equally mark my bust point. All right, I have waist. Sorry, I have bust, but I don't have bust point on the marking spots there. So I will be marking my bust point. That is what I just marked there, and I'm using 10 as my bust point. So I'll just go ahead, mark the line straight. Okay, then I'll connect it the way it should be connected, just our normal waist dart. Okay, now if you have any question, guys, feel free to drop it on the comment section. If you require me doing a video, I will do a video. If it requires me commenting on that comment, I will comment. Okay, so right now I'm making this video in respect of someone that said I did not explain well on the pleat part of it. Now this is my waist dart achieved. You can see how it is. Haven't gotten my waist dart. That is the only dart I need to get this dress. Okay, the next thing I'll do is go ahead and cut. Okay, I'll go ahead and cut, but you can see I'm starting from the armhole. It's a sleeveless dress. Okay, it's a sleeveless dress, so I'm starting from the armhole. And remember, there is no sewing allowance added here, which I will be adding it when cutting it on the fabric. Okay, so I'll be cutting the side first. The next is the down part of it. Okay, all through. Good, this is it. Now, having cut this, the next thing I'll do is cut the dart exactly the way it is. I'll have to open it up. Okay, we are starting from the down, cut through all the darts. I'll have to concentrate and cut the waist part of it the way it is. You can see how I'm cutting it. Okay, Then this other part, I'll just, keep connect it straight up. That will not be, we are not talking of a bustier here. Looking at this dress, you can see just a normal, kind of a normal dart, just that the down part has a kind of split. Okay, but what I'll call this is talks. I don't know if those of you that know TUCKX talks, it is what they did, especially those that are into menswear. We do more of talks on the back of menswear a lot. Okay, so or shirts. You see it in shirts too. So if I just take it to be talk at the front, okay? Just that the down part was not sewn and it is left to make it look that to give it that pleat. Now for the neck, you can see I'm on the neck. I'm going for 3.5. Now, if you're working with a neck width that is wider than your nipple to nipple, please wait. When you finish sewing the dart, when you finish sewing your dart before you cut your neck, it is very important. If your neck width is wider than your nipple to nipple, that line, that cut line, please finish the sewing before you work on your neckline. That is actually what I did in the other video I dropped before this one. I finished the dart before working on the neck. So, but in this case, the neck is not wide up to the neck width, to my nipple to nipple. The neck width is 3.5. You can see I still have some space left. Okay, so but if yours is this way, you can cut your neckline. Now, if you looking at this dress on the picture, you can see the neckline is close to the neck. It is not halter neck, it is not turtleneck, but it is close to the neck. Now, this is the cutting. When you want to do this kind of a thing, this is how you place it. The first thing you can see, I placed the part of the neck. This fabric is folded into two. From here, you either measure 3-4 inches is your matter of choice. But for the course of this video, I am working with 3.5. I do not want it too big. Okay, you can work with up to 4 inches if you choose to, or even 2, or even 2.5. It is your choice, but I'm working with 3.5 inches from here. Now, the reason why I started, if you watch the shoulder where my tape is now, I did not cut any dots there, so they are even. I just did a straight line. Okay, so what I have here that my tape is, and the waist can never be the same, so have that at the back of your mind. It is 3 inches and I placed it. I'll use pin and hold it down. I'm using pin to hold it down. This particular dress, the neck must not be exactly what is on the picture. You can even have any kind of neck you want. It is your choice. But for the course of this video, I am working with what is on the picture. Now, if you watch my neck width, you see here that my hand is, it is wider. Another place I need to consider is here, because here and that shoulder are the same. I did not cut any dots there. I'll make sure this down part is 3.5. Hope you understand what I'm saying. This down part has to be 3. Now, this is it. I use pin to hold it down. The next thing is for me to cut. Now, the down, I gave about 1 inch space for my cutting allowance, or you can go up to 1.5 or even 2 inches. It is very much okay. Okay, so I gave about 1 inch here. The next part is the side. I'll be using 2 inches for my sewing allowance. Okay, 2 inches. This is it here. Okay, 2 inches here, all through from the waist, hip, armhole. It is 2 inches for my sewing allowance. All right, now this is my neck. Now, for the finishing of this dress, it is best either facing or you go with full lining. Though full lining will be more stressful, but it's either you go with facing, which is the best, or you can work with the bias. Bias depend on the kind of fabric you're using to cut this. Okay, if you're using a crepe, I'll tell you to go for facing to give it more, cleanness. Okay, but there are some clothes you work with, all right, that are thicker. You can actually use facing or bias, or even full lining. All right, so you can see this is it. That is the 2 inches by the side for my sewing allowance. This dress is one of the dresses you can make for yourself. The buttons you're seeing on the nipple to nipple line all through down, all right, to where the pleat stopped, where they stop sewing of the pleat, it is attached. The buttons are not functional. It is used as a design. Okay, when it comes to buttons, either button is functional or design. In this case, it's just for a design, to design the gown. That is why they use button. It is not functional, meaning there's no button hole. You can see if it is that other one I did the video, this is where you stop. From here you cut here, cut here. The other one that I dropped here, the pleat started from the waist. The other one that I did the video, the pleat started from, but this one, the pleat started from the shoulder down to the end of the fabric. Now, for those that will say, what of the sewing? Let me open it up. Let's join it. You see how it should be done and the end result you're to get. Okay. Now, first thing I like do is cut. You can see where my is. I'm cutting these two places, so I'll get to know where my pleat or tuck starts. Now you can equally see me on the waistline, which is where the pleat stops. I'm using pin to hold it, to indicate it. First, at the shoulder line, I've already cut it. At the waist, I cannot cut it, but I can use pin to indicate where my sewing should connect to. Okay, so that is what I'm doing there. I'm using pin to hold it, and I've done that. So I'll just take out the papers, the brown papers, open the fabrics up, so we'll start sewing. This dress, it is so easy. It is one of the easiest dress you can make for yourself as a beginner. Remember, as I usually say, start with fabrics, a pattern paper before fabrics. Now, for us to open this up, I've already used pin to indicate the lines. So I'll just take out the pin because I'll need to spread it open. Okay, I need to spread it open so I'll be able to do what I want to do. Right now, for you to achieve that tuck at the front of this dress, you must open your fabric this way. This is how it looks. Okay, now first thing first, the shoulder part, it can be folded this way. One, you pin, you see the effect at the front. If it's not what you want, you fold the other part, you pin, you check, you see the effect at the front. But this is not what we are making in this video. The video we are making is just to hold it this way. You can see how I'm holding it, and you sew. You can see the lines where I use scissors to cut actually helped. Let me zoom it. You see it? I've already cut, notched it to make it easy for me to know this is here to here is where I need to join, so I do not make mistake. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and use my pin, to hold it down. So the same thing with the other side. I'm holding the two shoulders down to indicate where to sew. All right, now if you can't use pin, it is better you mark or you remeasure. Now, having held it down, this is where you sew. This is where the waist stops. From where this pin is, you go straight. Remember, it cannot be straight. If the beginning is about 2 or 1 3/4, at the waist, add half inches. So I've seen where that pin that I pinned earlier stopped. So I'll just go ahead and pin it here. Okay. This is the back. I turn the back. This is the back of the fabric. You keep pinning it. At the waistline is bigger than the shoulder part. Okay, because of the dart intake. All right. So this is it. Now let's see how it looks. Right, you see, this is it. Now this is what the other video I made earlier. There's a video on my channel I dropped last week that, you know, of this particular kind of style, but this the difference is, those of you that have not watched it, I think I'll be attaching it at the end. If you hold it this way, that I did now, you will be, this is the result you'll be getting. You can see it is facing one side. You know, the strapless dress I made last week is facing one side, just like this one. You can see it is facing one side. But this particular picture is not facing one side. This is giving us box pleat. You know, when you box pleat your dress, the effect is what this front is giving us. So you can sew here and it becomes this way. So at the end, what we have is, you know, giving us one side. But this is not how it should be. The picture we have, this is not how it should be. All right. So if you sew it this way, you get a different result. But if you want to get this exact result, this is how you do it. Box pleat at the back of it. Okay. You see how it is? This way. This is how we go about box pleating or tucks. Whichever one, this is how it should be. You iron it, smoothing it out. On the shoulder, you sew it up. Okay, so let me use pin and hold it down. Let's see if it will give us what is on the picture. Okay, this is box pleat. It shouldn't be this way if you want to achieve what is on the picture, or this way. No, it has to be box pleat. This is how it should be all through. Okay, when you sew it up, you iron it. You come down to the waist line. You can see where I use pin, where my hand is right now. Use pin. You can hold it, you know, stitch it up a little. Now it has to be boxed. You can see this shoulder place should be sewn. Here that I'm pinning, you sew it, the tip of it, one. Come down here. I will equally use pin to hold the next important place when sewing. You're to sew. All right. First is the shoulder. Okay, one. The next is the waist part of it. Let me get pin to pin it properly. Right now, here that I'm pinning now, what I just did, you are supposed to do it with sewing. Just a tiny sewing to hold it firm there. Okay. One. Then you come here. Now you can see there is button. Any tiny sewing can be covered with button. Or even if you decide to sew it all through, you can cover it with button. All right, so this is it. Equally here that I'm pinning now, which is the last place where the sewing stops. Every other place is open and it becomes pleat. Box pleat. Here too will be sewn. So let's see the difference between having turning it into a box pleat and just, you know, folding it one-sided. You see, it's giving us what is on the picture. It's exactly what is on the picture that it is giving us. Okay, you can see it is giving us that open and close on both sides, not one side. The difference between them is it is either both side that is closable or one side. Okay, but what is on the picture, both side is closable, it is box pleat. You can see the opening here. So this is it. See how it is here to open. If the back is box pleat, the end front will come out this way. This is how it is, and this is exactly what is on the picture. Okay, now let's go to the other side. This side I did not do it box pleat. The other video I posted, this is how it should be, one-sided. All right, the strapless video, please, if you have not watched it, watch it at the end of this video. I will be attaching it at the end of this video. Okay, so this is it. All right, so guys, please do support this channel by becoming a member. Okay, so we'll be able to be buying more fabrics and be bringing more videos your way. I will really appreciate it. Okay, support the channel by being a member. All right, so this is it. Okay, you can see it. All right, here too. There are two different styles, two different end results. The other one is sewn this way, it's not box pleat, and is giving us this, while the other one is box pleated. Okay, and it's giving us box pleat at the front. So whichever one you choose is very much okay. So you can see it, the button there is just for design. It is not functional, it is not being used, it's just for design, to cover up the lines and make the dress more beautiful. Okay, now this is what you get if you're to go for box pleat. It will give you exactly what is on the picture. All right, now you can see how the front is. The next thing is what of the back. Exactly what is done on the front is what is done on the back, just that the back has a zip. One, secondly, the back is high neck. Exactly, there's no different. Box pleat they did at the back is what they did at the front. Okay, so guys, remember, if you have not subscribed, do subscribe, and if you have any question, feel free to drop it on the comment section. Okay, so see you on my next video, guys, and remember to subscribe if you have not subscribed.